Mathias Resume and Editing Services today tells us the importance of customizing your resume for the specific job that you're looking for. Today's episode is brought to you by MyGo where you can build funnels and website all from one location. Easy to use drag and drop builder. Build your first funnel today. Fully customized checkout experience, 14-day free trial, no credit card needed. Welcome back to today's episode of Clicks and Bricks. Again, my name is Ken. Today I have Pat Mathias from Mathias Resume and Editing Services with us. She does a phenomenal job helping people get their resumes together and navigate this crazy landscape of all these different job resume websites out there in the world. How are you doing today, Pat?
Hi, thanks for allowing me to be on Clicks and Bricks today.
Thank you for joining us. So happy to have you. And your service that you have is a huge service that a lot of people need right now. It's pretty hard to navigate that system today. Can you tell us a little bit about Mathias Resume and Editing Services and what you do for your clients today?
Okay, you want me to tell you how I kind of got started?
No, right now just what you do for your clients, and then we'll hear your founder story.
What I do is I require my clients to provide a job post because I actually do customized resumes. I don't do the cookie cutter, one size fits all. I customize it for a specific job post. And from there, I also make sure, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the ATS system, the applicant tracking system. It actually looks for those keywords in those job posts. I make sure those keywords are in that resume. And not only just in that resume, you can put too many keywords in there and it'll reject it. So I make sure it's has the keywords in there and they're in there just right so it can pass the ATS.
Right. So those of you who don't know this, if you're doing a job interview for big companies, right, they have this ATS system and the resumes go into this kind of robot that reads the resumes and makes a decision, are you a good candidate or bad candidate for interview process, right? And then you go on to the interview process. So a lot of times, if you don't have the skills to write that resume properly and understanding that ATS system, then you're going to get kicked out before you even have a chance. Is that
correct?
Pretty accurate?
Yeah.
So it's really important to make sure that the resume is properly done. When I was younger applying for a job, you'd write one resume and you would send it out to 1,000 different companies and you would get 10 or 15 interviews and you go on those, right? But today, just like all things, a lot of robots and algorithms are handling a lot of the front end work for people. So it's important to understand those algorithms and present the resume for the specific job that you're going after. And it could be literally the same job title at two different companies, slight variations. Is that pretty accurate, Pat?
Right. Actually, once I customize the resume, and let's say you're data analyst, once it's customized, it's easy to use that same resume for another data analyst position in other companies because all of the language is about the same.
Right. But if you are a data analyst, you might want to have three resumes, one for data analyst, one for maybe administrative assistant, and maybe one for the job up from your current job of a data architect.
Okay. It
right?
Depends, right. It depends on, because I customize it, I still need that job post for each position.
Correct. So,
yes,
but if you're doing a job hunt, you can narrow it down to just one job and customize that, where you can say, hey, this is my current job, and I recommend everybody doing this. If you're in the job market and you're looking for a new job, look for what you're currently qualified for and one job above that, like one tier up. Go ahead and go for it, right? Don't think that you can't do it because you don't have enough experience with things. You'd be surprised at what a good resume can do for you to get those doors open. Right? So don't narrow yourself down to what you think you can do. Open that gate a little bit and go for that bigger job too. But whatever you're doing, the resume has to be catered to the job title that you're going after. And why is that important other than the ATS? Is that important other reasons or just the ATS to get through that?
No, for other reasons. Of course, you want to show that you qualify for the position. And one of the things that I do is interview clients for up to an hour. Most companies only do like 10 minutes. When I did my comparison, did my research, but I really interview for up to an hour because what I do is I discover things that can go on the resume that the clients have no idea has value to it. For example, do you do volunteer work? And they go, oh, I just do this. I said, well, that's important. I said, because it shows leadership, it shows organization, it shows communication skills, and they had never considered it.
Right.
So my interview.
Things like fraternities and sororities houses are great for resume because it shows that you're part of a community, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know people that even swear by putting, as adults, 45-year-old men still put Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts on their resume. Just because it shows that they've had that experience and they know how to follow direction, they know how to be part of a team, all of those things, which are, believe it or not, your ability to be part of a team is more important to an employer than your ability to do the actual job, right? Because they can teach you how to do that job, but they can't teach you how to adopt their culture if you're really far off. So it's really, really important showing who you are in your resume. It's kind of a commercial about yourself the first time, right? And we want people to show, right? We want to look good in front of people, so we want that to be very professional, very well put together. And it's the first impression that your new employer is going to have of you.
Absolutely, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you really want it to be good. I noticed that it's Mathias Resume and Editing Services. You just so you get a job posting on their current resume,
Correct.
and then from there you modify it, but then you have an interview process as well.
I do interview them to find out, like I said, what else in their background that we can add to embellish their resume, like the volunteer work, like have you received any awards, things like that they don't think should go on a resume, especially things like if you've saved your company some money in the budget or something like that. That should be on a resume because they will say, if you save this company, $20,000 a year, they're going to think you're going to bring the same skills to their company. So things like that is important to have on the resume.
Fantastic. Before we get to our next question, I've got a couple really doozies for you. Do you have any offers that you would like to share with our listeners today?
Right. When the pandemic hit and I knew a lot of people were losing their jobs or just whatever, I am offering 20% discount because I really wanted to help the people get into a new position. And I've also learned that a lot of people that are the older generation, they have been on their job for like 20 years or so. And so their resumes are really outdated. And so I really wanted to help them get back into the workforce without feeling intimidated on the job search and the resume and things like that.
Right. And where would they find you at if they wanted to order that service?
They can email me at masteritseminars@gmail.com.
So 20% off resume editing and writing services. Phenomenal. Thank you for giving that to the audience. Just reach out to Pat at our website or the email address she just gave you, and we'll throw the email address up at the bottom as well and in the contacts fields at the bottom of the video. Huge service. Before we get into your founder story, I have one question about resumes that I'd like to ask you.
Sure.
When I was a kid or younger, I was always told that a resume should be one page with one cover letter. Is that still true? Was that ever true?
That is not true anymore. I had a client, I was interviewing him, and I found out he had a lot of other experience that he should have added to his resume. I said, why didn't you add this? He said, I didn't have room. I said, well, you do now. And I said, well, why didn't you add this? He said, I didn't have room, because he pressed it down to one page and he was eliminating a lot of valuable information about his experience and skills that the recruiter needed to hear.
Absolutely.
So no.
Yeah. So I think it's important to get to a concise message, but don't leave out giant parts of your story, right? This is your story that you're telling in 1 to 5 pages of paper, right? So tell it. Don't think that you have to fit into this box of one page to tell your work history story. I think 30, 40 years ago, you'd get 1 or 2 jobs in a lifetime and kind of keep it till retirement. But today, that's changing quite a bit, right? You might have, a lot of people have, 3 jobs right now: Uber, Lyft, and Instacart, right? And those are all valuable things. You learn to manage your own time, be your own hustle. You learn a lot of stuff from that. So I would even say put those things on your resume as well, right? They show that you have those skills, that you can do other things. And there's no bad job on the planet, right? If you've got experience in something, it shows in a potential employer that you can do those things. Mm-hmm. And it probably shows them more than you think it does, even if you're a ditch digger, right? It shows that you've got tenacity, that you can muscle through hard times, right? All kinds of things. So don't think that it's not important to put it on there, but a concise message is very important. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that. I was 90% sure that was going to be your answer, but I wasn't 100% positive. So, and then Pat, can you tell us a little bit about, I think there's two reasons why a business owner starts a business, and it's because they have an extreme motivation to do it or some kind of weird possession to do it. I'm not sure what yours was, but can you tell us about your founding story? Why did you get into this business, and why do you think it's important that you continue this business for your clients?
Sure, thank you. I have a graduate degree in communications, and I knew I wanted to teach, and I knew I wanted to teach at the college level. So once I finally got offered that role, I was teaching communications for 8 weeks. It was an accelerated course, and I noticed, I required my students to find a job post. and I trained them and taught them how to harmonize the two. But the second semester, I didn't require them to apply, but the second semester I decided, let me do this to see how this technique is working. And my students started telling me they were getting job interviews. And the more I thought about it, my syllabus was 8 weeks, but I didn't start covering the job search, the resume writing, the interviewing techniques until week 4. So that told me within 4 weeks they were getting job interviews. And I did that for the rest of the semesters that I taught the course. And I knew I was onto something. Let me put it that way. I knew I was onto something.
So you knew you were onto something, but then you had to have some kind of catalyst moment to say, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to buy the website address and start doing this for people as a stream of revenue. Right.
I have to talk about SCORE. Is it okay for me to talk about?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So let's actually pause there and just tell the audience what SCORE is and tell them about that whole experience.
SCORE is an organization that helps people to start and grow their business. It's nationwide. I work part-time actually for the St. Louis location, and we have over 30 mentors. There is no charge for the mentoring, and even right now they're offering their webinars at no cost. So if you have a business now, I suggest you go on to stlouis.score.org and check out the upcoming webinars that you can attend for free. Because I have access to all these mentors, one of the guys saw my work and he said, Pat, you can make X number of dollars with this, because he saw my service and how well I did a resume. And so I started talking to some of the mentors because I didn't really know where to go and how to start. And they have a list, like a checkoff list, and I utilized that checkoff list to make sure I had everything in place to get started.
Right, and that checkoff list is going to be literally a checklist of things that you need to do to start your business. Create your LLC, to get an accountant, like your checking account, all those things, with tips and tricks on all of those things, right?
Well, it was tips like marketing, business plan, business cards, things like that you should have in place. SCORE does offer a how to start and manage your own business workshop once a month, and I participate because I work there. I was able to participate in those, and it gives you an overview of main areas that you have to have in place. Like you need somebody, the insurance guy, an accountant, marketing, and right. The banker. So all of those are part of your team. You actually have a team, although you're starting your business alone. You really need that team.
So I talk a lot about having mentors as a great way to overcome adversity, as a great way to thrive. Like, you can lean on your mentors quite a bit, and SCORE is a nationwide firm. Mm-hmm. You can go to them and you've got those mentors built in. It's also a little bit of an incubator, right? You can start your business there, and then you've got all these different resources, and there's a lot of different kinds of incubator firms out there. You can do capital investment incubator firms. Will SCORE help you start your business and incubate it?
They mentor clients.
Okay.
They mentor clients. And so, like, let's say you need to start your business plan. They'll review your business plan, let you know if you're on target, what you need to change, because a lot of people use their business plan to get a loan to start their business. And so they do help with things like that, or maybe somebody needs help with marketing. I need more clients in the door. What can I do? And so we have people with like marketing background that can guide them through that. Right.
It's a fantastic organization. There's a SCORE near you, score.org, or if you're in St. Louis, stlouis.score. Now, you're based in St. Louis. Is your writing resume service only St. Louis based, or can anybody in the country use that service?
Anybody. I've had clients in Arizona, New York, Texas. It's nationwide. And
Fantastic.
Everything is done through email. So electronic payment system. So it's like everything's, is through online.
Super simple, right?
Yes.
So you have a job that you really, really want, send Pat that job interview or that job listing with your current resume, and she's going to doctor it all up and increase your chances to get an interview, right?
Absolutely.
And then I would argue that if you don't interview a lot, the interview process that you have with Pat would also probably give you a little bit of interview experience that you'll need if you haven't interviewed before or you don't interview frequently. It's a skill set that you got to hone and get better at, right?
Right.
So, and do you provide any services around preparing for the interview, or just the resume piece?
Just a resume, but what I do on my social media, my articles, I try to base them around interview questions and best ways to answer them. So you can go on like LinkedIn. I have articles out there like how to protect yourself from age discrimination on your resume. What if you do get 2 job offers? What should you do in that situation? Or
right.
And then specific resume questions too, and suggestions how to answer them.
Right. So that information you're just giving out as free value to
Yes.
people,
Yes.
showing that that you're capable and competent in doing the job that they will hire you to do, which is a huge marketing tip, folks. If you have a product or service, if you can write content around that product or service that doesn't necessarily compete directly with you, or even if it is telling them how to not use you, and you publish that information, it helps you be the industry leader, right? When they're reading your articles and things like that, it helps a ton to have, and what we call those in marketing, we call those asset magnets, right? We put them out there, people read them, they get to know you, and then they hopefully eventually come back and end up buying that service from you if they need it, right? So
Right.
I think that's a fantastic way to market your products and services, writing those how to interview properly articles and putting them out on LinkedIn. It's really, really smart. So
Can I tell you this too, this tidbit?
Sure.
A lot of my articles are birthed from my clients, because one client actually had the problem with I have 2 job offers. What do I do? And so I advised them, and then I turned that into an article. I had a client that had to, record their interview answers. I advised that, I turned it into an article. So
Right.
I get a lot of my content recommendations from my clients. They give me ideas of content to write.
absolutely. This whole show is built on last year. I talked to 1,000 different business owners, and the one thing that they always said is, yes, I know I'm supposed to be posting on social media, I just don't know what to post, right? So part of the reason we started Clicks and Bricks is to help small businesses and business owners get content to post, right? That was one of the things that we wanted to do for business owners long term is, hey, start a podcast, give them the content, they can post it, and that's the value that we'll be creating for them, which has been really successful for us so far. So writing those kinds of articles, if you don't know what to post, what Pat just said is a perfect example. Your customers will tell you what to post. Look at what calls are coming into your technical support lines, what calls your salesperson are taking, and just listen to those and you'll hear what you're supposed to be writing about. You'll hear what you're supposed to be talking about. Your clients will tell you. Listen to them. Like your clients are one of your most important assets that you have. You should listen to them, right? They have great information, right? Yes. So I think that's really smart what you did, is take those experiences from your clients and turning those into articles. And I would really challenge you to keep that up, because that's a free way to market your product and service, right? That's more of a PR kind of event instead of a marketing event. And PR marketing is marketing you pay for, and PR is stuff you write and push out, and people pick it up and just read it. So I think that's a phenomenal way that you did that. So congratulations on your company, starting your company, and getting it to a successful point. How long have you been doing this?
Since July 2017.
Since July of 17, fantastic. And you do this, and you also work at SCORE part-time, correct?
Correct.
And are you getting into the mentor program there, or just working part-time?
I'm working part-time. No, I don't mentor.
You don't mentor yet? It's a yet.
I think they have enough mentors. They have over 30.
It's okay. They can use more. You have a lot of valuable information to give the world. So, fantastic. So, we talked a little bit before the show about overcoming adversity and thriving, and you said that you wanted to talk about the SCORE there. Can you tell us how you feel the mentors at SCORE are there, and like maybe some real world examples, if you have them, of how to overcome adversity and how to thrive, how important those mentors are to you for those two topics?
Okay, one of my biggest challenge was the marketing piece, and I showed one of the mentors my business card, and she just immediately said, you need to change this, this, and that to help me, even just with my business card. And accounting is always probably a challenge for any business owner, and I am so thankful that I do have people with accounting backgrounds that I got stuck. I'm like, okay, this is the way I pay. How do I show this in my my ledger? And so I got advice on how to do that. So they are a really great source to reach out to when you have questions and you're stuck in your business. My
hands down best advice for accounting is to hire an accountant. Hands down. Like, I hate accounting. I don't like doing it at all. I don't like, is this a COG? Is this a cost of goods? Is it, I don't know, like, and then I get yelled at for the things that I turn in for reimbursement. But so yeah, I'm wholeheartedly with you. I don't like doing accounting, and having somebody on my team to do my accounting is huge. Yeah. And for you, if you don't have the budget to hire an accountant, having somebody to go through that general ledger with you the first time and just marking out what they are, once you've marked out your, I think I have about 170 vendors total that I manage on a monthly basis. Which is a lot, right? Most businesses, small businesses, probably have 5 or 10 on the high side vendors. Once you've categorized what those vendors do for you, it's really easy to keep it up every month. But that first time that you're configuring it, boy, that's an intimidating task, right?
Right.
And having a firm like SCORE behind you, a firm that you knew gave you the confidence that you could go into that, knowing that you had the team behind you to get there.
Absolutely, and I know most of them personally, so I know their strengths. I know what they bring to the table.
Absolutely.
And so I just pick and choose.
Fantastic. At SCORE, I've never been through the program. I've talked to a lot of people that have. Is it hard to get time with the mentors, or is it pretty much book the time and you get it?
They can go on to stlouis.score.org.
Yeah.
And click on Got Questions, and that'll take them to the app to get connected with a mentor. Fantastic.
That is so cool. And then, so you're helping people get back into the workforce post-COVID, 20% off. That's fantastic. So on to the last question of the day. If you can just put on your, rub that crystal ball really, really hard and look into the future of the job hiring process and the resume process, what kind of things do you think we'll see in the future with the technology, where it's going, and how people will be getting their resumes turned over and doing that interview process?
With everything that happened with COVID, a lot of people, I believe, have gotten comfortable with working off-site, and I think we're going to see a lot of that evolving. and you probably see, as far as the resumes and posting the resumes may be the same, but the interviewing process may change. You may see a lot of Zoom interviews, and I think it's going to impact that more than anything else.
Right. So I think we're in a really unique time right now. I know that whenever we put a job offer up, and it depends on what kind of job, but I'll just use our technical support job, right? Because it's the one that we hire for the most. 2 years ago, we'd put an ad out on the ZipRecruiter or LinkedIn, or not LinkedIn, what's the other one? Indeed, right? We put an ad out on those, and we get a couple hundred resumes in the first day or two. Right. And now we're getting 15 or 20 resumes a day versus a couple hundred a day. So now more than ever, I think, if you really want that job, because less competition is actually going to hurt you, because we're really taking more time and looking at each resume, you do have a better shot of getting an interview today than you did a couple years ago, I think, because every employer that I know is hungry to hire an employee right now.
Right.
Right. There's no jobs, there's no companies out there like, nope, I don't need anybody. I'm completely saturated with employees. Everybody needs employees right now. So if you're out there in the job market looking for a job, this is an employee's market right now. Right. So, and I don't think we've ever had that in my lifetime.
No, I don't ever recall it either.
When I was younger, the anxiety of getting a job was pretty high, right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I have to get a good job. I have to get a good job. And that was a pretty high anxiety thing. So, fantastic. I love what you're doing. I think it's a great service to humanity, and everybody needs it. Or if you're looking for a job, you need it for sure. So if you're looking for a job, can we put the URL up one more time? I know it's .org. So that is masteritseminars.org. That's all we have today, folks. Thank you so much for joining us again. My name is Ken. Get to work.